right, guys, welcome back to the Impact Defense Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5.
Very good.
I did it this time. Don't forget about our sponsor today, Blackout Coffee.
Absolutely. Today we're drinking Brutal Awakening.
Brutal Awakening. Brutal Awakening.
Having problems there?
A little bit.
Okay. You can get that over or any other flavor at impactgear.live/coffee. Use the coupon code ImpactDefense for 10% off.
If they don't already have a good sale going on. All right, everyone, the news story segment is back. And I really like this one. I think this one will make us both happy.
Okay. Kylie likes to look for positive news stories.
Okay. It's an article.
Okay.
The title of it is More Women Are Turning to Firearms for Self-Defense to Even the Scales, Protecting the Lives We Love. That's the title.
That's good.
There has been, since 2005 to 2020, there has been a 77% increase in women buying guns for self-defense.
Wow. 77%?
Yes. Mainly in 2021, black women were recorded by 87% of gun stores in the first half of 2021. So they purchased an 87% increase in 2021 for the first half. They purchased guns.
You know, I think that is only... No, this basically the news story? So there's not actually a self-defense incident that they're going to talk about?
Not right now, no, but I figured this thing would make us happy.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. This is self-defense stuff in the news. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is awesome. I really do. I think there needs to be a larger focus on training.
Yes. In that,
the
NRA, with its network of over 120,000 NRA instructors, remains ready to resolute and train individual women or otherwise in responsible and effective use for firearms for self-defense.
Okay, well, that's still saying
yeah,
they're there and they're ready to train, but it's not saying there was a huge increase in training. And that's what I want to hear is that, yeah, I think it's a great thing that, there is this big increase amongst women in trying to buy firearms or buying firearms for self-defense. But I think there needs to be a big increase in training with that as well. Because, again,
that is just the first step, though.
It is you are correct. You are 100% correct.
I still see it
and
as
I will say
thing.
that we've probably, through concealed carry classes and defensive handgun classes. Now, concealed carry classes, I would say we probably train at least as many, if not more, women than we do men. But now our defensive handgun classes and things like that, they are still mainly men that take those classes. And I would like to see those numbers rise for women. All right, now, Kylie, I have a question for you.
All right.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think that martial arts is to self-defense?
Probably 8 to a 9.
An 8 to a 9.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would give it somewhere probably a little lower, actually, and say somewhere in that 7 range. And there's so much to self-defense that happens before martial arts should ever actually take place.
Right.
So you might could even say a 6 to a 7, in my opinion.
Right.
But I think martial arts is great for a good base to self-defense. I don't think it's the be-all, end-all, but I think it's I think you need a good combative martial art.
Yes.
No offense to our Tai Chi friends out there. I don't know that I actually have any friends doing Tai Chi, but, I probably do. But it's great for health and things like that. But I think having some type of good combative form of martial arts as a good base, and that could be pretty much anything, you want to do mixed martial arts, you want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you want to do kickboxing, you want to do karate, you want to do taekwondo, something where you're actually going to hit each other a little bit. Yeah, certain styles of kung fu. lots of other things. Don't laugh. Lots of other things out there. People are going to hate us for laughing at other martial arts, Kylie.
Sorry.
But like something where you're actually going to hit each other. You know, you don't have to knock each other out, but something where you're actually going to hit each other a little bit. That will make a huge difference in your ability to actually protect yourself, or that's a great base for that. Also, I think that we discussed this really since we've come back, and that is the idea of having a good base and some fitness.
Yes.
And I know, like 2 weeks ago, when we came to record our podcast, we had just left the gym, came straight here, recorded our podcast. We'll probably be getting some more in because of the schedule that we're going to the gym with. So we're trying to up our physical fitness as well as things that we're doing in classes as we teach
Right.
and things along those lines. But I think the next thing is we need to understand that I think it's a good base and it can help you get in shape. But there is definitely a big but. If you spend all of your time in self-defense, if you spend all of your time in a form of martial arts and then all you do is say, now I can defend myself, you're wrong.
Right.
And I hate to be that way. I mean, we teach martial arts for a living. If you don't actually spend time in real self-defense, now, we have discussed this before. We're a little different than some places. I hope that there are more and more and more. And I hear that's a growing trend for regular martial arts places to spend time in real world self-defense and
Which
not
is a good
just
thing.
good things in here fighting. We
Right.
have had, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus and I'm not naming any names. We had somebody come to our school that was a second degree black belt at another school. And they come in here and they were phenomenal at sparring. They were phenomenal at certain things. We started doing self-defense because we cycle things through. We do, whatever. And as we cycle our things through, we're working through things and all of a sudden we come up with self-defense and we start working self-defense. And he looked over and he goes, I have never done this. I said, you never done what? Self-defense. Second degree black belt. Never done self-defense. And we're not even talking about anything like crazy that like definitely most places don't do, like de-escalation techniques. We do those in our classes, even with our kids. But like he had never done basic self-defense stuff. Like, hey, is this person's grabbing me? You know, how do I get out of this? And as like, that's as basic martial arts self-defense as you get. But like everything that he had trained for and he had his black belt in was all tournament stuff.
Yep.
So it's tournament style fighting. It was, forms and all the flips and tricks and everything else. But they didn't actually teach any kind of real self-defense. And that kind of stuff, that hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it hurt me a lot. So we need to understand the limitations. A few different things. Running away. That's a great thing.
Yep. Whenever you get the option, run.
Yeah. If you can get the option to get out of there. Or avoid. Avoid or running away or de-escalating. All of these things don't actually technically take martial arts.
Right.
And the ability to fight. Situational awareness, which was 2 episodes ago. We talked a little bit about that.
Yep.
So, I mean, these are easy ways to make sure that, you stay safe. Just those simple things. But also just the reality-based thing about self-defense. You're not going to do a wrist lock in self-defense, and I'm going to bust a lot of bubbles there. And we've done a lot of experimenting. My instructor that we had on last week, I think we're going to try to do another one with him. We're going to talk about some of the things we used to do. Because, honestly, we used to try to experiment. Let's say, okay, here's this move. Now, can we break it? And wrist locks was one of those things that just kind of got pulled out when we stopped teaching. He and I would stay after class and beat on each other and everything else, just kind of working things, a lot of times.
Pressure testing.
And we pressure tested in classes.
Busting myths on self-defense.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that we were like working on trying to do is like make sure that everything that's being taught is the best things possible. And I think a lot of that kind of goes where we need to make sure that what we're teaching is realistic and will actually work. And whatever type of martial arts you're doing, though, as that great base, you need to make sure that it works in all ranges. You know, I can kick you, I can punch you, I can deal with someone kicking me or punching me. I can work from the clinch. We takedowns are great, and then groundwork. We need to have a good understanding of all of those things. You don't have to be an expert in all of those things for self-defense, but you need to have a good, well-rounded foundation for all of that. Thank you. So what do you think? What's one of the best ways that you can think of to complement your martial arts classes that you might be taking to help your self-defense? See, in all honesty, let me just say this real quick. If you are in an area and you can't find a martial arts school that does a well-rounded approach to martial arts, okay? Let's say you find, like I'm in a town and the only thing I have is a traditional Taekwondo school, okay? And, they don't punch much, and they definitely don't go to the ground.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not trying to throw out all Taekwondo schools. I have a good friend that runs a Taekwondo school, and I've never been a big fan of the style itself, but his approach is good. He will, number one, he'll do these things. He's got some other training in martial arts and boxing and different things like that. And then he'll bring people in to teach things. Like he'll have people come in and do a seminar on something for his students and all to try to help them in certain areas. He's brought me in a couple of times on, punching, doing some punching things, some boxing stuff, and then also coming in to do leg kicks because, it's different, know. So, and I've had him come up here on footwork and different things along those lines where we can always cross train with other people. But if you're in a situation where you're in a town and you don't really have anything around you except this one thing, then what else can you do? Oh, she's looking at me blankly. She's like, I don't know. Seminars.
Yeah, seminars.
Seminars is a great thing. You can travel for seminars. You can go. You can find stuff around you. I almost completely promise you that within an hour of you could find seminars on jiu-jitsu. You can find seminars on, Muay Thai. You can find seminars on self-defense stuff. We talked about like our first episode back, you were talking about what you would do, and yours was all basically seminar based, minus the martial arts, is going in there and getting these basic things that are really self-defense specific.
Right.
So you can take seminars to round out your game a little bit. You can take seminars to specifically help your self-defense skills. And then, we start going into classes and seminars and workshops or whatever you want to call them, one-off classes where you're doing firearm stuff. But all these things need training.
Yes.
It cannot stop with the martial arts.
Things need practice.
Yeah.
In order for it to be right.
It can't stop with the martial arts, but I do think that the martial arts, you can learn, I believe very wholeheartedly that you can learn self-defense without learning actual martial arts. I just think you will be much, much more skilled at self-defense if you have a base in some martial arts. That's basically where I stand on it.
Yeah.
And I don't just say that because I teach martial arts. I mean, seriously, I say that because I look at people, and I've trained with people who have only done things that are just self-defense. And then I see people that have moved from a martial arts thing to then teaching self-defense. And there's a huge difference in the ability to throw basic punches and kicks and things like that, or basic grappling things. You have somebody who is just trained just some stuff in self-defense, and then all of a sudden you watch them try to escape mount, and then you watch somebody who has actually worked in a martial arts class learning to escape mount. And it's a huge difference in the skill ability. So I think that regular practice in martial arts is going to help out your self-defense skills tremendously.
Right. All right, guys, if you are enjoying this podcast, subscribe, like, and comment.
Like Kylie said a couple episodes back, we took a 6-month hiatus. We didn't plan to take that long of a break, but life got in the way. And during that time, we definitely had a dip. We've had a few comments that said, hey, we're really glad you guys are back. So I am really glad to hear that, but be sure to please tell your friends, because we need help spreading the word that, hey, we are back and we are still talking about self-defense, and we're going to continue talking about self-defense.
Yep.
If you have any if you have any suggestions for episodes, just please leave it in any comments around wherever you hear this. We will get a notification. And thank you very much for listening and or watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you.